Hey, folks, we are going live. This is Dean with the Two Party Podcast. We are live. We are streaming. I am attempting to do something I have not done in a while. The quality of the video may go up and down. Looks pretty good right now. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at. This is Dean with the Two Party Podcast. We are live on YouTube. I'm pointing at my screens. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. I haven't tried this in a while. I used to do this. It was just easier to get my lives done. But we're doing it. We're doing it live. So we're going to do our news breakdown. For those of you that want to interject, interact, communicate, I am looking at I am on YouTube looking at our comments and our questions. There's a portion on Instagram where you can ask questions. There's a portion on, and I'm not doing the Instagram live right now, but I am doing YouTube. I am doing Facebook. So if you want to comment and be on the show, this is kind of a cool little episode we're doing here. But it's just going to be a news breakdown, nothing big, the usual that I do. So what we have, and excuse me, this pre-workout's really getting to me. We're going to do our normal news breakdown. For those of you in the audience that know what this is all about, no change here. We're going to give perspective and opinion on my opinion on what we're seeing in the news headlines. Some things that just caught my attention, some things that I'm into, I try to jump on. So we're just going to get started. Show updates. I just want to update you guys. If you go to the number 2 Party Podcast, our website page, go to the last page on the website, which is the affiliate and sponsor page, I believe. You can check out some of our latest affiliates and sponsors. We're adding to that daily. Today, I'm actually out here in the studio. I'm going to do this live, and then I'm going to jump back on there, and I'm going to start adding more to that affiliate and sponsor page. I'm really excited because we're really picking up sponsorship. We're really picking up some affiliates that are partnering with us. So we're able to partner with their brands. They're able to partner and we can promote them on our show. But the coolest thing about it is that you, the audience, get to pick and choose on this affiliate page. You're going to be able to pick and choose. Like if you needed, let's say you got kids, you want to go on ABC Mouse, you get a discount. You want to go get some clubwear. There's a company on there you can get clubwear. Nutrition and supplement stuff for all my friends that work out and do fitness stuff like I do. You can jump on there and get supplement discounts, shipping right to your house. There's outdoor patio furniture stuff on there right now. So there's a lot of stuff. If you guys go hit it up, you can literally get some really good deals on stuff. And seeing as we're getting into the holidays and Christmas, me and my wife, we do our Christmas shopping throughout the year. So we're caught up before Christmas and we have basically everything we need for everybody. And then if there's any last minute gifts, we can buy stuff. But if you're out there right now doing last minute shopping or Black Friday type shopping, I encourage you to check out some of our affiliate page. Maybe there's something on there you guys need. So let's move forward here. I'm going to go ahead and start. It looks like I'm starting in health. Let's see. R&B artist Jeremiah on ventilator in ICU with severe case of COVID-19. I'm not going to open that. I'm not really sure who Jeremiah is. Let's pray for his family that he gets better and makes it through this. If he does, hopefully he can share his story. Democratic Republic of the Congo declares the end of its 11th Ebola outbreak. This is on CNN. I'll click it. I'll fall for it. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to start breaking down this news. We're going to start from the top, which may not be the top. Venezuela critics say there's basically a repression going on. This is an article. I pulled it up and it's just not working. They championed Venezuela's revolution. They are now its latest allies. I don't know. We're not even going to get into that one. So here we go. Australian troops unlawfully killed 39 Afghans. New patrol members allegedly shot prisoners in order to achieve their first kill in a practice known as blooding, according to defense chief. A shocking Australian military report into war crimes has found evidence that elite Australian troops unlawfully killed 39 Afghan prisoners, farmers, and civilians. Australian Defence Force Chief General Angus Campbell said Thursday the shameful record included alleged instances in which new patrol members would shoot a prisoner in order to achieve their first kill in a practice known as blooding. He said the soldiers would then plant weapons, radios to support false claims. The prisoners were enemies killed in action. Campbell was told in Canberra the illegal killings began in 2009, with the majority occurring in 2012-13 under Obama. He said some members of the elite special air service encouraged self-centered war culture. So, and then here's the chief was announcing the findings of the 4-year investigation by General Paul Brereton, a judge and Army reservist who was asked to look into the allegations and intervened more than 400 witnesses and reviewed thousands of pages of documents. Brereton recommended 19 soldiers be investigated by police for possible charges. To the people of Afghanistan, on behalf of Australian Defence Force, I sincerely and unreservedly apologize for any wrongdoing by Australian soldiers. And there's another comment there. This is unacceptable, and I'm glad we do have these courts that handle these wartime crimes and stuff like that. Tribunals, I guess you can call them if you want. I don't know. I find that atrocious that it's bad enough. Let's say it's bad enough you have two countries at war. One country invades another, let's say, for the sake of conversation, and they just go in there maliciously to invade. And then there's prisoners taken, and under the Geneva Act, there's certain situations and things, stipulations where you have to, for the most part, take care of your prisoners. You can't just take prisoners and treat them like crap, and hopefully treat them humane is the key. While we know that secret, black ops, interrogations and all these things you hear about or watch in the movies, that goes on. At the end of the day, you want people to be able to live through things and be able to go back about their lives after a wartime type of situation. A lot of people don't understand when you go and you bomb a country, you're also responsible for going in and rebuilding and helping to rebuild that nation and that economy. And those are just things we do with these General War Act, treaties we have in place and stuff. So on this front, you've got literally, this is like, it reminds me of in Florida, they had the big case many years ago with hazing in universities where people were dying. There was kids getting killed over alcohol overdoses and alcohol poisoning and different things going on where kids were in universities trying to get into different frats and they were being hazed and bullied. And some of them committed suicide. Some of them died due to the acts of whatever they were, their initiation was. That's kind of what this is. But, this is on a military level. This is on a way different level. I mean, this is on the level of manslaughter. You are actually killing, whether the person on the other, that you're killing is innocent or not. I mean, if they're planting guns and radios and weapons on people to make it look like they're guilty of something, then these people, chances are, weren't guilty of anything. These were probably, like it says, farmers and civilians, and potentially some Afghan, soldiers. But at the end of the day, when you capture somebody on the other side, you're supposed to treat them humanely. And you would ask for, or respectfully ask for, humbly ask for the same from another country. Let's say you and I are Americans. We're traveling. We're on tour. We're tourists. Something happens and we get detained. We would hope that we get treated fairly or humanely, and not handed a firearm and a radio and shot dead, and then been, because of some kind of, ritual or initiation, so to speak. Kind of sad, as far as I hope the family the families of these people get justice. An apology it's great that you're going to make a stance and an apology, but you can't make apologies for somebody who's been murdered. You can apologize, but at the end of the day, what does that really what does it really do? It initially makes one party feel like they supposedly got some closure. The other party feels like they have remorse. To me, it's more legal. That's more of a legal thing. I'm trying to look at this post. I get this all the time. I'm not one of these people to subscribe to every newspaper in town because a lot of this stuff's just crap. I'm not going to pay for media that is crap. So there's a couple articles here I am unable to pull up for you guys. This one I can talk about a little bit just because I'm familiar. So New York Times has this article, 11/19/2020. That would be today. Plastic in the ocean that's killing animals. This is a big we hear about climate change. We hear about people that are just doing stupid stuff. And they go out on boats. They toss overboard trash, or let's say you're just driving your boat. I know a lot of captains I've been on with down in Florida growing up that I've fished with. My dad was the same way. You're cruising in your boat, and you just you try to keep everything in the cabinets, keep everything in lockdown cubbies, and behind the windshield or in the cubby, and or the cabin, and you're cruising. You get up to idle speed, or you get up to speed, and you're cruising along. You get up to plane, and stuff blows out of the boat, and a lot of people are like, whatever. I know people that, dude, they're driving these huge, massive fishing boats. Those things are gas guzzlers to begin with. And they'll turn that boat around and go pick up a freaking, a piece of paper. And mad respect for those dudes, because you have to, just because you don't own a boat, or you're chartered on a boat, or you're borrowing a boat, or it's your first time taking a canoe out or a kayak or something. Dude, you respect our environment, respect our oceans, respect the stuff that we have. I don't know what that was. Weird. Anyhow, you got to respect our environment. You got to, we hear about climate change all the time. I'm not so big on the climate change thing, because the thing with climate change, and that you hear the most, is that we need funding for climate change. We need money for this. We need to be taxing people for climate change. We need to tax the companies for climate change. We need to tax businesses for climate change. The problem is, what are you doing with taxes? You're taking revenue and money from people or businesses. What are you doing with that money that's going to change the weather? Putting regulations on a company to stop polluting makes sense, right? I mean, it makes sense. When you're over-regulating a company to the point of taxing that company, they have to do extra measures to prevent things you're saying are going on, but they have no scientific data to prove it. We in the past 4 years, we're reporting now that we have some of the cleanest air. The EPA is reporting some of the cleanest air under Trump administration, which started tail end of Obama. I'll be fair about it. But in reality, we're living in a day and age where we have cleaner air. California doesn't look like a smog fest anymore. I used to live out there, and it was very weird. I don't know where that came from. I was looking at this post, guys. I'm sorry to get off topic. But I don't follow. That's why I don't follow all the media stuff, the climate change stuff, is because I'm more concerned about our environment, and I'm not concerned about getting billions of dollars from businesses to save the ocean. While we know there's countries like Asia and China and stuff that they overfish, and they kill sharks, and they kill whales, and they do things that are just not necessary, or they do it in a way that's overkill. That's preservation, and that's conservation. But at the end of the day, people throwing trash, and the trash that ends up in the ocean, and they just don't care. I'd rather not regulate and tax businesses and people as much as I would rather everybody take action and take take time out of your heart and your day. We used to go, me and my buddy Chris Laney, what a mess. We used to take and when we'd go camping or we'd go on the beach, we'd go pick up cigarette butts. I'd go home at night, at the end of a beach day, me and him hanging out or something, and I'd have a swim trunks, or I'd have my cargos on sometimes, and I'd have my side pockets full of cigarette butts and trash. We'd just walk the beach. While we were at the beach, we'd see something, we'd pick it up. Take initiative, take action on your own. It doesn't take billions of dollars and over-regulating companies to fix your environment, the environment you live in, your community. What is going to have the most impact on your community? You live in that community. You can't ask the federal government in Washington, D.C. to fix the problems in Iowa. While they have their own government in Iowa, they're not probably going to expend as much time on climate change, and people aren't going to walk around picking trash up, unless it's like, community service or something. So again, I encourage you guys to watch what you're doing when you're out swimming, when you're in the ocean, things like that. I'm commenting, sorry guys. Take care of your ocean, take care of your community, take care of, and make it your initiative. Don't wait for the government. Don't wait for the government to do these things. Don't wait for your local organization to form together a charity that's going to come clean up your ocean or your beaches. There are many charities and organizations that'll do so. There's local communities down in Florida that'll do that stuff, and they do it constantly. I'm trying to think. My buddy Chris LaChapelle, I always forget the name of it. But they do it. They have a group of friends. They all get together a couple times a month, and they have certain parts of the Pinellas Trail, and they have certain beaches they go to and islands, and they just clean it up voluntarily. They don't get no money for it. They don't get no recognition for it. It's just what they do, and that's what everybody should be doing. You want to save the ocean. You want to save the environment. You want to help climate change. It starts in your community, and if each community has members that are doing things good in their community. Celtic Lords is the name of it, just came to me. They do beach cleanups and all kinds of stuff. But if each person in their own community, even a small group, let's say you have a community that's 20,000 people, a community of 20,000 people, and you have, let's say, 100 to 500 people that are actually taking effort into the community of cleaning it, taking initiative monthly, each setting maybe a schedule where once a month they get together and they just clean the roadsides, or once a month they get together and clean out ditches. These are all things you can do in your community. And if everybody's doing it in their community, why are you going to take billions of dollars from businesses or from, federal government and literally, I wish I had some extra paper here, just throw it. Just, what's the point? Because you're not going to stop the weather. We keep hearing about the ice. The ice is melting. We have extra rain, extra hurricanes, extra tornadoes. Do we really have extra, or is the weather patterns in the world, in our universe, as we spin around this magical place called space? You have different weather patterns. You have different atmospheric changes. You have different, obviously that there's man-made gases released due to manufacturing, but how those change our weather patterns drastically, I don't think is so much important as the big scheme of things as an entire solar system functioning. Changes go on everywhere. I've even heard right up to the point of, I've heard people even spit out stuff like, the sun is doing the sun's doing different things now because of what humans are doing here on Earth. If that were true, every single dang planet would be, any planet that potentially has any type of life would be affecting every other planet, which it does in a way. But I'm sorry, guys, the biggest star, the sun, burning hot as hell, we don't have that much of an impact. We have a layer, an ozone, an atmosphere. Our atmosphere protects and keeps in a lot more than what goes out. And we're not close enough to the sun to really be affecting it with our releases of different manufacturing gases. If we were like some crazy pollutant planet, yeah, I'd say maybe. But I'm not going to take theories like that. When I hear people say stuff like that, I just kind of shake my head, roll my eyes, and move on. Suspect nicknamed Psycho wanted after 3 sets of human remains discovered in Colorado. Our main goal is to get him off the streets, as said Ken Anderson, Alamosa police chief. He is a danger to the public right now. A man wanted in connection with the remains of 3 people in Colorado has been identified as a well-known suspect in the area named Psycho. I just like saying it like that, Psycho. Police in Alamosa said Wednesday that Colorado law enforcement agencies clearly identified Andre Jordan Barros, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, Barros, 26. This dude's 26 years old, as a suspect in 3 sets of human remains found in Conejos County. Don't even know if I said that right. Our main goal is to get him off the streets. He's a danger to public right now. I'm trying to see if there's like an actual good story to go behind this. Was conducting a search warrant related to stolen equipment and vehicles when they recovered human remains. No property owners lived at the sites where the remains were found. It was immediately clear how long the remains had been there, or wasn't clear. Said forensic anthropologists confirmed that the remains included at least 3 people, but their identities, genders, and ages were still under investigation. It would take several weeks to confirm the condition they were in. So they've probably been sitting out there a while, or try to do something to dispose of them. And they're just not giving that information right now. Could not single-handedly investigate what we were running into. Interesting. I guess you could classify. Well, I don't know what the classification is for serial killer, but I think it's 3. 2 or 3. I mean, I'm thinking 3. So we got 3 bodies here. This guy's potential serial killer roaming around. We need to catch him. Psycho. I like it. Heading into holidays, U.S. COVID-19 testing strained again. Here we go. Ooh, Corona. With coronavirus cases surging and families hoping to gather safely for Thanksgiving, long lines to get tested have reappeared across the U.S. A reminder that the nation's testing system remains unable to keep pace. The delays are happening as counties are bracing for winter weather, flu season, holiday travel, all of which are expected to amplify a U.S. outbreak that are already swelled past 11.5 million cases and 250,000 deaths. I'm trying to emphasize it to cram it down your throat, like we keep hearing in the media. Laboratories warn that continuing shortages of key supplies are likely to create more bottlenecks. This administration, I'm just going to go there, guys. The Trump administration has pushed forward. They've got manufacturing companies that have, 3M and some of these other companies that have never done anything like this before. They have old auto plants they've converted to make PPE, protective suits, and what are they? The respirators. I'm sorry, I'm having some brain farts here. And just various items. This administration, no matter what you're hearing on the news and the media, don't believe the hype. This administration has done so much that you can do. You cannot stop 11 a.m. curfews or 11 p.m. curfews do not stop a virus, okay? The virus is still floating around somewhere. Somebody's in bed snoring with the virus who's going to wake up the next morning and carry the virus into their family, carry the virus into their work, carry the virus into a grocery store. You cannot put a curfew on coronavirus, period. You wearing a mask is not going to prevent the person who has coronavirus from potentially being in a position where he does not have the mask on and he's spreading it. He may not spread it to you when you interact with him because he has a mask on at that moment. But that's not to say, because there's not enough studies, that is not to say that this guy didn't sneeze. The sneeze came through and out the mask, got onto his clothing, and somehow it's on or in the air. It's aspirated somewhere. That word's not very good. So, yeah, we're hitting another strain. Here's my other thing. We're in the middle of flu season. You are not hearing anything. I'm yet to hear anybody mention flu. It's COVID. Everyone's dying of COVID. The election's over. COVID stopped while we celebrated after the election for temporary reasons. And then all of a sudden we're back to COVID. Now you have even you have Democrat and Republican leaders in different states that are wanting to do lockdowns, full state lockdowns and county lockdowns. Again, that does not stop the coronavirus. If the virus, they say there's like I don't, again, the studies, there's just not enough data to suggest that if everybody went home and stayed home, the virus dies in the home of the person that has it. And that's it. And it never comes out again. There is no evidence to suggest this virus is spread to the point where if we all literally stayed in our homes for whatever the gestation period is, let's say it's 14 days, everybody needs to stay in their home. If everybody in the world stayed in their house for 14 days and then miraculously came out, does that mean the virus is dead? Absolutely not. Have we ever been able to eradicate a cold, a flu, or a virus or any kind of outbreak by running from it? No, they still exist. The only thing I can think of is like the plague, and even that just recently in San Francisco and in Colorado, Rocky Mountain fever or something like that. There's the plague's been found. You cannot eradicate things by hiding from it. These things live. They are organisms and viruses and bacteria and whatever they are, they are. Scientifically, they're there. They're living organisms of some sort. You do not get rid of them by hiding from them. You do not officiate a curfew for them and they just go, well, I'm under curfew. Just like a teenager. Just telling a teenager that they're under curfew doesn't mean they're not going to sneak out. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you guys. So needless to say, the curfew thing, whatever, man. COVID is here, and I think it's here to stay. We've got to learn to address our behaviors. Just like I was talking about with climate change, there's things you got to do in your community to make it better. Wear a mask if you want to wear a mask. Don't wear a mask if you don't want to wear a mask. Don't shame people that do or don't. Just live your life. Be clean. Be respectful and humble. If you're around someone and you got to sneeze into your arm, or if you're around people close enough proximity, try to get away from everybody to sneeze in your arm. Don't just sneeze. So just, like I said, it's common sense, man. We lack that in this day and age. It's horrible. So anyhow, heading into the holidays, be careful. This is a local story. One I mentioned, I touched on yesterday. I actually kind of commented on the website. Tulsa PD, Tulsa dispatcher who died of COVID-19, remembered for his dedication. So this guy, and his name was Joey Phillips. 54-year-old Joey Phillips was a Tulsa dispatcher. Amazing story behind this guy. Apparently, he's been with them for a long time. Okay, dispatcher of 23 years. Friends and family, law enforcement community remember the life of Tulsa Fire and Police dispatcher who died from COVID-19. Joey was with Joey. Life was constantly on. It never stopped. It goes on to say, like, he had this dream to be he wanted to work with Walt Disney or at Disney World or something like that, and he was just getting to a point where there was something going to happen where he was able to do so. But he was treated for remdesivir and convalescent plasma. They treated him with. He actually got some of the medications a couple days earlier than I had gotten them, so we were not expecting this outcome. So again, one of his brothers, Dave Amaya, lives in Kansas, and his wife tested positive in July. He followed an eerily similar path than I did. So, they tried everything they could to keep this guy alive, man. He passed. I've said it before. In the beginning of all this, I was one of those people, just like a lot of you out there, that said, whatever, it's a virus. I don't know anybody that's died from it. I don't know anybody that's has it. And then slowly in the past, couple months, I do know people that have had it and survived it. And I also know people that got it and died. And some of them had underlying issues. And so it is serious. I'm never going to take away from the fact that it is serious. And it needs to be, you got to take precautions. If you want to keep your family safe, keep yourself safe, you've got to think of this thing as deadly as it is. However, it's not. This again is not going to be treated. You can't treat a virus like this or something like this. You can't treat it by shutting down things and giving curfews because it doesn't have ears. It's not listening. This one, a gym trainer exposed 50 athletes to COVID-19, but no one else got sick because of a ventilation redesign. So again, I mentioned this before that there is going to be and will be, excuse me, I don't care who you are and where you're at, there is going to be and will be somewhere you're at, and you will be around someone with COVID that does not know it. And you will potentially be exposed to it and will not know it. You don't know when you walk to the grocery store, through Walmart. We've heard the bank. I've been talking lately a lot about the bank. It's crazy that money exchanges hands. People are like, well, I just use my card. Your card passes hands sometimes. Your card goes in a machine that gets touched by thousands of hands. And then they hit the button to put their PIN in. There is so many things that you are interacting with in the day you don't even know. Door handles, dude, I watch people constantly touching door handles, going in and out of businesses. I like the businesses with the automatic doors. I lean toward those. But there's a lot of businesses you got to pull handles on. Dude, I can sit in my truck, and I've done it, and watch and count the people that will grab a door handle, walk in a business, and then kind of, that you walk into a place and you kind of get your bearings, and you'll see people walk in, and some of them will walk in and they're like, rub their face, their eyes, their ears, or they're just adjusting their outfit. So they just touched a door handle hundreds of people touched. They're adjusting now right here, they just committed germs. You can't get away from this thing, okay? If this thing's coming for you, it's coming for you. I'm not trying to feed fear. I'm just trying to let you know you can't run and hide from this stuff. So needless to say, it says, I'm scrolling through this a little more. When gyms closed in March, CrossFit community about the mental health, and it kickstarted this gym's reopening plan and safety measures. Minute consulted MAR on ventilation, as well as strict hygiene and distancing protocols to keep athletes as safe as possible. I knew the virus was transmitted mainly through the air, so I thought it was really important to have good ventilation so everyone wasn't able to breathe it. Now, I agree with that, but I don't agree with that. Here's my philosophy. If it is such an airborne disease, and you open this door and get a draft, and you're standing here and I'm standing here and I have COVID, and I open this door and you open that door, where is my COVID going? Right in your freaking face. And if you had ventilation systems like commercial buildings where they're in the ceiling and it's pulling up, if you look at different wind designs and HVAC system designs, sometimes air does this and it kind of swirls its way back up. If you have any kind of climate control in a building, you're moving air in different ways that you really don't have the control you think you have. And again, if this is airborne and you're in a Walmart and there's a guy walking down an aisle ahead of you and he's breathing, it's going all over the place potentially. And you are following down that aisle, and I don't care who you are, your breath and whatever's breathing, and it's the supposed COVID's in the air thing, you're walking through it. Anywhere you go, you are susceptible to walk right through this, be in this. You may have already been in this, and your body just didn't function or react to it in a way that was deadly like some of these other people. It is so important that you guys understand the common sense level of this before you start jumping into the media BS science of it. There's not enough studies and data on this to really push. But anyhow, this story, like I said, gym trainer exposed 50 athletes to COVID. It's going to happen. If you go to the gym, I have a home gym. A lot of you guys know I work out. I post a lot of them on my personal page and my personal feed. When I do workouts, chest, buys, tries, I try to keep up. And that's not just me tooting a horn that I'm working out. I do that because it's encouraging to me. When I look back on this stuff, and I also sometimes I get busy and I'm like, well, what did I do the other day? I can look back, hey, I did arms or whatever. But I post a lot of this on my personal page, and then I post an encouraging message. I try to do that because I'm trying to encourage you guys. I'm trying to help you guys. And at the same time, when I'm able to encourage other people, it helps me. And that's how I'm wired to work these days. So needless to say, I have a home gym. I have a gym membership to Lifetime, one of the nicest gyms in the area, honestly. And I'd say nicest, one of the biggest. It's the nicest as well, but it's a really huge gym. It's kind of overwhelming. But I don't go there a lot. Even before COVID happened, I didn't go there and use that membership a lot because I'm not big on people when I work out. I want to be left alone, and I don't want to wait on machines and equipment. So I'm just not gonna. So I started purchasing stuff pre-COVID. I purchased this stuff for our garage, set up a little personal gym for me. And then my wife started, she's had some health issues she's worked through. She is now getting past those, and she's actually works out even steadier on schedule than I do now. I've kind of, me and her both have kind of worked on different things, and she's now working out and doing really good physically, trying to overcome some of her health issues. And it's just, it benefits me because I know that my wife or I are the ones using our equipment. It benefits or my son. And then it benefits me as well, knowing that I don't have to wait around in the gym. I don't have to be exposed to things I don't know. And so that makes me feel better. And then I also feel that it makes us a little safer. This is a story that just popped up, kind of crazy. It says Bobby Brown's son, Bobby Jr., was found dead at his LA home 5 years after the death of his half-sister, Bobby Christina, and 8 years after his stepmother, Whitney Houston, drowned in the bath. Police rushed to medical emergency in Encino, California. Encino's got some crazy stuff. I blame Pauly Shore. It's unclear how he died, but police say they do not think that any foul play was involved. Bobby Jr. was following in his musician father's footsteps. Bobby Jr. is a second child. R&B singer Bobby Brown has lost after the death of his daughter and his ex-wife, Whitney Houston, and Bobby Christina, who was found unconscious in a bathtub. He was a musician and was in a loved-up relationship with a 22-year-old woman who he posted about online. 3 years before their daughter died, Whitney Houston drowned in a tub after taking cocaine and Xanax. Brown and Houston's 15-year marriage was plagued with drug abuse and domestic. It was a very sad roller coaster for Bobby Brown. I love Whitney Houston. Call me gay if you want. It is what it is. I like Whitney Houston's music. I had a sister, so I guess I was a sister and a mom growing up in the house. And it was obviously, I was influenced by a lot of their music, just being stuck being the young kid. And so I like Bobby Brown's music, his old school stuff, and I used to love Whitney Houston's hits. I mean, she always had some really good hits. That lady had a voice that could carry on forever. So there it is, little known fact. But anyhow, they're not announcing right now. I guess it's too soon to really say, and really they may not want to say what happened. Just being real about it, it's kind of sad. A family's I think Bobby Brown might, I don't know, because I'm not a friend of his, but I'll be honest, I hope he's got his crap together by now at his age. You would hope he's doing better. Oklahoma megachurch organizes mass Thanksgiving meal, asks followers to bring a neighbor. We just talked about COVID. We just talked about close proximity. We just talked about you can't get away from this thing. What we've seen during this pandemic is an attack, a wholehearted, and I'm a Christian, so I 100% see it and feel it. Me and my wife are still kind of feeling like we're still hesitating to go back and hit our church and on-campus church. And that's hard. So this church, mega church, has been criticized for urging members of its congregation to bring a neighbor to a Thanksgiving event in a state where COVID deaths, It's Victory Church in Tulsa. I'm very familiar with Victory Church. Hosting what is called Friendsgiving on the 22nd, and encourage people to come share a meal with us and bring a neighbor. We always look forward to having a meal with you. All campuses will be participating at their facility. Footage said to be from a recent church. Okay, so that's just footage of another one. It just shows hundreds of people in an area. So again, common sense. Be safe. I'm a Christian. I want fellowship. Part of being a Christian, people are always like church. Well, for me, being a Christian has nothing to do with the church. No building dictates my faith. No affiliation with a religion other than just being labeled a Christian, which is just my belief in God. There is zero building that is my religion or is my church. There is zero. My relationship is with me and my Creator, and so there's a lot of that stereotype of like, well, you Christians are crazy and this and that and the other, and you get a lot of static. That's fine. That's part of the persecutive side of being a Christian, and anything you do these days, being a Muslim, being a Christian, being Buddhist, being whatever you may be, you're going to catch some flack somewhere from someone. That's what it is. But during this pandemic, what we've really seen is a kind of a bias toward Christianity and toward people being able to have fellowship and gather in churches. Some churches just bucked the system and did it, and I think a few of them got sick. A couple pastors got arrested or fined. Hey, these are the things we know are going to occur. This, I think, I don't want to put my ruling on this as being a little bit over the top, because again, as a Christian, we need fellowship. But I think there needs to be some common sense about this. And I'm hoping, let's pray and let's hope that all of this is going to be put together in a fashion that makes sense. Unless you're handing out plates that are wrapped and you've got individuals handling food. Me and my wife will go out to eat, and we have been, and my son will go hit restaurants to support local businesses. But I'll be honest with you, it's not as often as we used to, because I am a little bit OCD and a little bit weary about people touching my food or being over my food or the person in the kitchen sneezing. And this is airborne, so it goes through the whole kitchen. Kitchens have fans running and ventilation running and microwaves and ovens and things cooking and fryers going. And if this is an airborne thing, it's in the air, okay? So I get a little weary when we go to restaurants. Kind of stresses me sometimes just because I'm OCD. So, I don't know about me I don't want to be the one responsible bringing my neighbor who might potentially get sick with COVID at a church event. And I'm not knocking it. I'm saying that is an awesome thing that they're willing to feed the community and feed your neighbors and feed churchgoers, families. That is awesome for people, especially for people that don't have family and can't afford to go get a meal for Thanksgiving. But I just think, someone might want to rethink that. And it has nothing to do with the church and Christianity. It has to do with safety. Tulsa attorney shares photo of crowded courthouse during COVID crisis. So you can't see this picture. I wish I might. There's a way I can screen share. I'm not going to try. I'll mess it up. Facebook's kind of weird. You got to screen share before you start or something. I don't know. So anyhow, it just shows a picture of a hallway of people waiting outside a courtroom in Tulsa. It says you are shoulder to shoulder walking into people as you go through just to get to the courtroom that you're supposed to be in. So that that was the first sign that something was wrong. And it just goes on to say, this attorney is the one that brought this up. And for a while there during the COVID thing, they stopped all cases. There was no cases being heard unless it was an emergency type of thing. And so they kind of backed off. Some court dates were postponed. Some people that were supposed to go to jail didn't go to jail. Some people that were in jail got out of jail. That caused some problems. I'm kind of at you can't have the wheels of justice come to a screeching halt and then criminals are just off the hook. I feel like, and then there's the double-edged sword of, do you lock these people up pending their court dates, and then they're potentially all just stuck in jail getting sick, and jail environments. If you're got some kind of minor thing that you're going to court for, you don't want to be sitting in with a bunch of people waiting to do real time in an environment that's really not conducive when you could be out working until your court date. I don't know. That one's kind of rough. If you look at the picture on this is on News Channel 8, with their website. Again, the heading is Tulsa attorney shares photo of crowded courthouse. Kind of sketchy, to be honest with you. I'm glad I don't get in trouble anymore, and I'm glad that I'm not having to go to the courthouse for anything and stand in that mess because, again, my OCD and my craziness. Democratic Republic of the Congo declares the end of its 11th Ebola outbreak. 11th outbreak. This is a CNN article on health. Not big on CNN, but I do got to touch on the headlines because that's what we do. Democratic Republic of Congo, that's the problem. It's democratic. officially declared the end of its 11th Ebola outbreak Wednesday, 6 months after the first cases. So in the midst of all of us crying about COVID, we still have Ebola going on in freaking the Congo. It's been 42 days since the last confirmed case tested negative. So this went on for 6 months. No new confirmed cases were reported as of September 28th. The outbreak began June 1st. So, again, with these viruses and all this stuff, you cannot control this stuff. I mean, this kind of just had to play out. I'm sure they had some vaccination stuff going on, other health things going on. They do have testing for Ebola. Obviously, it's been around. They're saying that the Eastern outbreak was the world's second deadliest Ebola outbreak on record and was officially declared over on June 25th. Dude, all I can say is, it's scary. It's scary. Ebola first appeared in 1976 in Sudan and the DRC, and gets its name from a river in the latter nation. So when you call it COVID virus the China virus, you're not allowed to, but this is the Ebola, which is named from a river in that area. So don't be calling it names. Ebola causes fever, severe headaches, and in some cases hemorrhaging. It spreads through direct contact of bodily fluids and objects contaminated by someone ill with the disease. Now, a lot of these people swim in the river. So somebody upriver that's contaminated swims in the river, takes a bath, it goes washing downriver to you. That's how this can spread. And then also in villages, and a lot of these people live in villages for small communities in these areas. It spreads that way. They reuse a lot of stuff. These aren't first world; these are third world. Some of these places are very not up to date with technology. So a lot of these places, they're reusing old wooden pots. The wood holds things. There's just so many different various reasons why this is just crazy. And then I moved this one. Here we go. Glenpool. Glenpool's a local area over here. Glenpool passes citywide mask mandate. They are on. So you've got south. I'm going to try to make this map make sense on the screen for you. So let's say here's Oklahoma. Here's Tulsa. I'm probably on the wrong side. I'm probably over here. Tulsa. No, Tulsa would be over here for you guys. And then South Tulsa, which is more like, I want to say South Tulsa, but it's South Tulsa. And then Glenpool area and stuff like that. So there's a little town called Bixby, and then there's Glenpool and stuff. So anyhow, so Glenpool and then Jinx. So surrounding the Bixby area and Tulsa, they're starting to do these mask mandates. We talked about this. We just talked about this on the show today, and we've talked about this before. I'm just not a big fan. Wear a mask where you have to wear a mask. Hey, Choi Ortiz, what's up, buddy? I'm just not a big fan of masks. I'm sorry. But I do wear them. So sometimes I'll go in Lowe's and nobody in Lowe's is wearing one. I take mine off. Okay. I admit it. I went in Walmart the other day to shop with my wife. We both, when we got home, I was like, did you see the amount of people that weren't wearing masks? There was literally dozens of people not wearing masks, and I had mine on, and it was kind of bugging me because I'm not a mask person and I would love to run through Walmart, but I also do not want to and cannot afford to be sick right now. My wife's the same way. She has other health complications, and I don't want my son sick. And while we hear the stories that the young are good and the older are compromised, and my health seems to be good, I just, to be honest with you guys, I don't want to risk getting it. And it's not that I'm scared of it. It's not that I believe the hype. It's not that I don't think I wouldn't survive it. I would pray that I would survive it. I would hope I would survive it. But you never know. I know perfectly healthy people that have had it and died. But the point is, you see these people in our community, our local community, and we're trying to stop. In Bixby, the cases have doubled. In Tulsa alone, they're prioritizing beds for respirators and stuff like that. You have to be very severe to get prioritized. They are basically at a third. What I'm hearing from a lot of the nursing people is there's a third capacity, 2/3 non is COVID patients and staff that are just overworked. So these people, these cities are passing these mask mandates, and unfortunately, like I talked about earlier, a mask is not going to prevent it. First off, not everyone's going to wear one. They're not going to wear it all the time. You're hearing a lot of people say, just wear it in public. If you're at a sporting event, well, I doubt that's going to happen. A sporting event, stores, when you're generally in public, you should wear a mask at all times. I'm not. You see people wearing them in their cars by themselves. I'm not wearing a mask in my car by myself. Here's how I feel about it. This is my logic, and I do wear a mask. If I walk in a business, I wear it into the business. However, if I wear that mask through Walmart and I'm shopping, it's covered in COVID, and then I make the next stop. Not a lot of people are carrying a stack of masks with them. They're usually wearing one mask, or you see the people with the homemade masks. They're not changing masks. So you're going in, you're getting your shopping done for the day. You leave the house with your mask. You wear your mask to Walmart. It gets covered in COVID. You don't know it. It's there. It's on there. And then you're touching that mask to put it on and off, on and off, on and off every stop you make. You're now contaminating your hands. You may be health conscious enough to put hand sanitizer on, but then as soon as you're done doing that, you're then touching the mask again. You can spray the mask, and then that may or may not kill it. You cannot run and hide from this. There's too many interactions with your fingers and your hands and the air that you do daily. You are not going to run from this thing. This virus is not hiding from us. And it's not going to stop when we tell it to. China, Sinopharm's coronavirus vaccine taken. Okay, so they're doing like an emergency vaccine implementation in China, of all places. And so we'll see how that turns out. People could be dead. We don't know. Oxford University, I think over there they're probably guinea pigging people. I think they're probably using, doing these clinical trials on people specifically. That's just my opinion. I have no facts to support that. It just pops in my head. Oxford University coronavirus vaccine trials show strong immune response. So this is another COVID-19. This is AstraZeneca, a safe and produces strong immune responses in older people, per preliminary findings of a phase 2 trial published Thursday in the Lancet. Why it matters. The findings for the study of 560 healthy adults, including 240 people age 70, over 70, follow Pfizer announcement. So this is a good thing. The closer they get to these vaccinations and making them safe, this is the first time in history without the regulations have been peeled back in order to allow for the pandemic and the emergency. Again, I'm going to repeat, this administration has done an amazing job. And this administration in this aspect has done really well, and giving authority, peeling back regulation to give authority to our pharmaceutical companies, our major brands around the world, to seek a vaccine for this immediately in order to what they call warp speed, to fast track it, to try to get as much testing done immediately versus years down the road. If you're familiar with the way it works with pharmaceutical, it can take years to get the clinical trials over with. It can take years and that's from development, research and development into clinical trials into getting it FDA approved, and then all the side effects and lawsuits and all the disclaimers and all that stuff goes through. And then you finally get one product name brand, and it could take dozens of years, and that could cost a fortune because of how much money they had to put into getting it to that point. And then it takes 8 years to get a generic. It is insane. And this administration's done amazing to give authority, to help give authority to some of these companies to say, look, let's try and get this virus and fast track it. And they have. I have concerns about it, as many should. There's certain things in the world that need regulation. I mentioned earlier, as far as climate change goes, certain things need regulated, but I think we go a little above and beyond when we're taxing businesses and over-regulating and telling businesses how they have to function to make a product. I think that's going above and beyond in the name of climate change. On this note, I think this is when it comes to pharmaceutical and things that you are going to ingest directly, I feel that regulation needs to be in place. However, I commend this administration for doing what they've done. I am praying that through all of this, that all of these things being approved are safe and that nobody dies that needs to not die from these vaccines or things that were unforeseen due to it being fast tracked. I'm hoping all the companies stay on the up and up with this, that there's been no secretive stuff like we've heard over the years with different medicines that have come out. Jackson Memorial Regional Hospitals to receive COVID-19 vaccination. So we were talking yesterday, I believe it was, or maybe the day before, on who would receive the virus first. Jackson Memorial Regional Hospitals to receive first. That's 2 South Florida hospitals are among the 5 in Florida that will receive the vaccine in the next coming weeks. So congratulations to you guys. Good luck trying it. I hope it works. Star Collision helps solve 16-year-old mystery of the Blue Ring Nebula. You guys need to look up Blue Ring Nebula, and you will see what I'm talking about. It's a collision between 2 stars thousands of years ago, produced 2 interstellar ice cream cones full of hot gas. No, I'm not lying. That's what the article says. Go check it out. It's on CNET. This is, again, we talk about science and theory. Science is nothing but theory until it's proven. And even when it's proven many years later, people prove it that theory was wrong mathematically. So science is a guessing game. This is basically people saying that some ice cream cones were shaped, nebulas were formed from hot gas, blah, blah, blah. And that it did some things and formed some things, and you know the thing. And so it's an interesting article. I'm kind of a science geek. I've got this one put aside for me to read later. I'm not going to get too deep into it because we're pushing our time. I like to try to keep it a little minimal. But that being said, there is some really cool space stuff going on if you want to check it out on CNET. NASA satellite to measure global sea level rises. So we now have a satellite scheduled to launch from California later this month. Will measure sea level rise and provide other crucial data to scientists who study how global warming is affecting the Earth's oceans. Melting ice has already caused sea levels to rise. This is an NPR article. Sea rise 8 inches since 1880. I don't know where you're getting. Here's the thing with when I hear about this, it drives me crazy. When we hear about the sea rising and the sea levels, we know there's tides. Tides do this. We know underneath the ocean, very deep, there's erosion, and there's sediment changes and formations change, and the sea bottom changes due to storms and tsunamis and just turbulent water. People, there's valleys and rivers can cut right through rock because of water flowing. Water can do amazing things. And it says here, melting ice has already caused sea levels to rise by about 8 inches since 1880, and the trend is accelerating. Here's my thing. We just discussed erosion and tides. So if I have, let's say this is my sea bottom, and my tide comes and goes. We know my tide comes and goes, let's say a couple inches right here. And I measure this back in 1880. Okay, I'm measuring, this is my low tide, my lowest tide, this is my highest tide, and I measure that. And then somehow I'm coming up with a figure of 8 inches is missing, or no, rising. So we now went like this, now we're up here. We went up since 1880. How did we go up? And what's our measuring point? And is our measuring point on the sea bottom, on the floor, the same exact spot? And has the elevation of that same exact spot stayed the same? There's too many variables. You guys, I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I love science, but there's so many variables to this stuff that one study may find and one study may have overlooked. And unless somebody went down in 1880 and did a literal survey elevation of the sea bottom and had a constant comparison place, in other words, a place where they measured from that was consistent and static, would not have changed since 1880, across to a point, nailed a spike in the ground that has not moved in that same elevation since 1880. And that spike top is what they're measuring to the top of the water, high tide, low tide, and gained 8 inches. I need to see that data before I'm going to believe the hype of this. All the ice is melting. the ice will melt and the ice will come back. And it's climate. We just discussed how the world changes, the axis of the earth changes throughout seasons. The solar system changes, manufacturing has a small part in it. But again, I just wanted to share this info about the satellite that's going to be measuring, and it's supposedly going to help some global stuff. I'm excited about it, to be honest with you, because I think it'll bring us some new data. I just, how and why. And so believe what you want to believe, folks. I love science, but again, science is theory. And so you have to take it with a grain of salt. Cosmonauts prep space station for module removal on spacewalk out of new airlock. So that's apparently a new thing for them. This is the Russian side. Both of the Russian Federal Space Agencies began 6-hour, 48-minute spacewalk on Wednesday, inaugurating the use of the Poisk module as an airlock. Poisk is Russian for search, also referred to them as the Mini Research Module 2, or MRM2, had been used only as a port for crewed Soyuz and robotic Progress cargo spacecraft to dock the station. So there you go, a little bit of space news. Here's some more space news. SpaceX plans for a reusable Dragon spacecraft fleet detailed. I'm looking at the picture of this thing. This thing's crazy. Anyhow, it's kind of insane. You know, I hear a lot of the flat Earth stuff and whatnot, but it's kind of insane when you look at these modules. I'm sorry, not these modules, but these little spacecrafts, this Dragon spacecraft pod. It's like a little pod. I mean, it's a big pod, but it's kind of, it's weird. It's pretty interesting. So anyhow, they're planning for a reusable pod. So they're trying to make these pods where that, you know, it's less, you know, we're not having to destroy them like NASA back in the day. That, you know, the shuttle would only go so long, and that was the end of its lifespan, and then they decommission it, and they'd have a new shuttle just like it. Now they're really trying to reuse some of this stuff and you know, for lack of a better term, recycle and reuse. So the reusability of SpaceX intends to accomplish more than ever before with far fewer vehicles. So they're able to maybe utilize, you know, instead of having a fleet of like every launch they're having to replace one or something, they're able to scale it back to like we have 5 units, and all 5 units we alternate which ones, and then as they come down we fix that unit, and then it becomes the next, you know, the end of the line. So kind of cool. Facing collapse, the famed Arecibo, I hope I'm saying that right, observatory will be demolished. Sad but true. This is in Puerto Rico. This is one of the main, if you're not familiar, this has been, and I'm not pronouncing it right, I'm sure, but it's set to be decommissioned and demolished. The decommission will bring an end to a popular 57-year-old. This is one of our observatories in the world that has reported to us on major stuff. Scientists around the world have used this point of origin for as an observatory because it. I'm trying to. Oh, okay. I was just trying to read some of the safety stuff. It says the decision is not easy for one of the NSF to make, but safely. Meanwhile, engineers are now working on a plan for how to take the facility apart. It's a huge facility, which could involve the use of helicopters and explosive devices. So needless to say, this thing has been, you know, kind of, you got to picture like on the globe or on flat Earth, you know, wherever Puerto Rico is. Picture on the globe, and then Puerto Rico's right here. You have this observatory that has an expanse coverage of the view of the sky, and a pretty open one, because in Puerto Rico you're kind of out in the ocean. There's not much trees and mountains around you, so you have a pretty lucrative span of sky that you can look at. And so this observatory has really been a peak in a lot of the studies. Back in the day. It's a huge like little mountaintop observatory. It's actually really neat. I'm looking at the pictures. If you want to look at this, it's on The Verge is where where I found this. It's in just look up Puerto Rico or observatory on The Verge and you'll find this. Just really interesting. I thought I'd share, again, being the geek that I am. Matthew McConaughey on whether he plans to run for Texas governor. Matthew McConaughey, hey. He says he has no plans to do that right now. Every time you hear of a celebrity that's going to run for office, they always say they're not planning on it. You hear it all the time. But that being said, my personal opinion on celebrities and politics is no. I blame Jesse Ventura and I blame Arnold Schwarzenegger for starting this crap. And there's been Ronald Reagan as well. He was a celebrity. A lot of people don't remember that, but he was an actor. Not to the degree of the fame that people get these days. But, dude, stay in your lane. For lack of a better term, you got Alyssa Milano out here being an activist. You got all these people that just run their mouth because they have some sort of a platform with they have reach of 1 million people and fans. And just stay in your lane. Just focus on your acting. Focus on your... I don't know many actors that sit down. I know a couple celebrities that will sit down and hang out with you and are on the level of the ordinary average person. You can't speak for the people if you're not one of the people, has been my philosophy in life. These politicians that get put in office and lobbied in and ushered in by big money and donors and who can get a favor and whatnot. Celebrities are no different. They don't live in a real world as you and I do. We don't have the luxuries. We don't have the bodyguards. We don't have the things given to them or afforded to them through their career that would put them in touch or in place with people on the ground. People that were walking the streets of a downtown homeless. People that are, you hear them all. We do the charity. Oh, we're helping the homeless. We're pro-abortion. There's so many of them. That if you're going to do that. Okay. But stay in your lane when it comes to, don't try to start doing legislation because you want to be a celebrity activist and you're getting some momentum and coverage and attention, which is what celebrities do, get famous. And don't try to come in and start legislating for our country. We don't need you making laws that are so out of touch with the American people and the people that are living the working class. You're not working class. You're making millions of dollars doing work that the average person would love to do and make a third of what you make. And that, again, guys, that's just my opinion, but celebrities should just stay out. We talked the other day when I was live about the drive-through marijuana dispensaries in Tulsa County. Tulsa County voted for that. It was a complete surprise. Ron Durbin, I saw, did a post on Facebook. He's a local attorney. He's probably the spearhead and one of the top activists. I say activist, but I don't consider Ron an activist. I consider Ron just a really good dude. He's pushed for a lot of things to get the medical marijuana program going here in Oklahoma. And this was one that he was kind of in support for, and there was other variables involved, and he's hoping to make some changes on those too. But what I'm seeing is it passed. A lot of that due to Ron was able to take a lot of these city councilors that were able to take time out of their day, and he took them on a tour of dispensaries and of grow operations so that they could see firsthand to eliminate some of the stereotypes that go with it. And so that was kind of what his post was about, is he wanted to thank those council members for coming out and being open-minded to look at the industry. And he feels that was a good influence on this decision. And I said it the other day, medical marijuana, whatever it is that is a natural organic thing that can keep people off opiates or some kind of pharmaceutical medications if they don't have to have them for medical reasons, I'm all for it. I also agree with this, people not having to go into we're dealing with COVID. You want to talk about the craziest thing in the world is going into a medical marijuana dispensary, wanting to look at their product. Some of them just have these containers, you can look at it. Some people want to smell. Some of them will let you open it and smell it. There you go. You're putting COVID right into it. I like the idea that you have a drive-through where you can potentially, if you're disabled or you just are immunocompromised, you don't have to go into this place. You can literally go to the drive-through, order your medicine. You get your medicine in a bag. You don't have to interact with anybody personally in their space. You drive off, you go home, you have your meds. I think that's a great idea. I think I went a little long today, guys. Essential California, French laundry fallout intensifies. I'm not too, California guys, you guys are falling apart. You've been falling apart for years. It's your leadership. It's who you keep voting in. Again, back to celebrities. I think a lot of this nonsense starts with you guys letting your celebrities influence what's going on. I'm all about being trendy. I'm not trendy. Look at me. I'm wearing, had to take my son to the dentist. I'm wearing a freaking Realtree t-shirt and a Mossy Oak over jacket thingy-majig. I am just not the trendy guy, but it's okay to be trendy. But California guys, you guys have trended yourself out. You have phased yourself into this nonsense. You've got Gavin Newsom, who I don't know why you guys have not voted this guy out or started a petition to impeach or remove him from office. This guy has done more of a disservice. The Supreme Court just hit him, or one of the courts over there just hit him with overstepping his authority. First off, that's one reason to remove him, with the lockdowns and with the shutting down the churches and all this other stuff. Everything he's done through this pandemic is overreach, and abuse of authority. And everything the New York guy's doing, the governor over there, same thing. These guys, I don't know why you guys put up with it. Even if you're a Democrat, as I once was, get these people out of office. Get these people out. Are you really that happy with your property taxes? Are you really that happy being one of the highest tax states in the world or in the nation? Are you really that happy with these over-regulatory crap in your? I mean, I get it. You want to be able to say, oh, I don't want my neighbor to do this. And so you lobby to the city, and the city enacts a law and they regulate your neighbor. Dude, come on, California. So anyhow, good morning and welcome to the Essential California newsletter. It's Thursday, November 19th. This is in LA Times. Anger over the perceived hypocrisy of California lawmakers continue to boil over Wednesday as newly published pictures raised doubt about Gavin Newsom's claims that the French Laundry dinner was held outdoors and the names of more lawmakers attending it. A Maui junket surfaced. Again, Nancy Pelosi, lockdown, put a mask on, stay home, blah, blah, blah. She goes and gets her hair done. Nancy Pelosi wants to welcome the new Democrats in office. Let's have a big dinner, which she finally canceled because she caught flack. Gavin Newsom, we're going to lock down our state. Nobody can go to have Thanksgiving. We can't have holidays and Christmas. And he goes to dinner with tons of other people. This is beyond, you guys, you've put these people in place. This is beyond, this is dictatorship at this point. This is what they're telling you Trump's doing to you. And Trump leaves everything to the state, and then your states end up with a Gavin Newsom doing this stuff. They were celebrating lobbyists. This is even funnier. It's a lobbyist. They were celebrating his 50th birthday. A leading organization representing doctors in the state were among those in attendance at the dinner, which was held to celebrate lobbyist Jason Kenney's 50th birthday. And I guarantee you, whether it's security or not, somehow, some way, your taxpayer money paid for this benefit in some fashion, or paid for these members or Newsom to show up but have security detail. You're paying these people to have dinner and telling you cannot have dinner with your family. You can't. You cannot keep voting these idiots in, man. I don't care what side you're on. It's not about sides at that point. It's about the hypocrisy. It's about the dictatorship. It's about the fact that this dude is overtaxed and regulated your state to the point where businesses are boarded up and people are leaving your state, which leaves you with less funding for wildfires and emergencies. And then you wonder why your state's burning down and you can't manage your forests, and there's so many things you cannot do in your state because you're overregulated and not allowed to. It's not cool, guys. It's not cool. No state should have to deal with that, and no people should have to deal with that. The complete tally of lawmakers who were at the conference, all of these people that are in this conference should be removed from office, okay? And there's Republican and Democrat. They should be removed from office, for one. For two, these people are using your taxpayer dollars to be able to do this stuff. The complete tally of California lawmakers who are at the conference remains unclear, but the attendants include Assembly members Bianca Rubio, Democrat, Wendy Carrillo, Democrat, Jordan Cunningham, Republican, Heath Flora, Republican, Frank Bigelow, Republican, Chad Myers, Independent, or Mays, and then Senator Andres Borges or whatever, Republican. It's unacceptable. You cannot tell people they cannot do something, turn around as their leader and do it. And if you guys are accepting that, you guys are so brainwashed and idiotic. It's insane. All of that, literally all of that, for some dude's 50th year birthday, lobbyist dude who got some kind of kickback for something he wanted done by these stupid people that showed up there. Those same people that showed up there are people he's lobbying to. And you guys are falling for it. And if you looked up his name, you can find out really quickly what it is that he's lobbying and what he's about, so that you know exactly what your taxpayer dollars are pushing by voting these people in who support this guy's lobbying. It infuriates me. It's insane that we run our nation this way. Trump's refusal to concede puts our country at peril, ex-Obama advisor says. We have not finished the election, period. There is no president-elect. And what you're having now is the fallout from all of this, is Biden and them jumping the gun to push this narrative that he won the election already, to push aside the fact that there was fraud. And now what you have, it's just like when, people get butt hurt on a job and they get fired, and then they just rally around other employees that may have got fired or disagree with certain policy. So now what you've got is like everybody and their brother, the media is pushing everybody and their brother saying, Trump needs to concede, Trump needs to concede. Oh, this person. And then they try to pull out the experts. Okay. So anytime somebody puts X in front of a title and they're giving an opinion on something, I dismiss it. It's like my ex-girlfriend trying to give an opinion in my life now. If it has X in front of it, it's meaningless. So Trump's refusal to concede puts our country at peril, says an ex-Obama advisor. Who the hell cares about an ex-Obama advisor's opinion? Who? Not me. Valerie Jarrett. Who cares what Valerie Jarrett has to say? She looks like a nutcase. I'm not going to lie. Here's another one. Former GSA administrator. It's clear we should recognize Biden as the president-elect. Again, former. Who cares what this guy's got to say? But the media's got to push that they have experts giving you their opinion, and these experts used to work in this field. These experts you should listen to. These experts are idiots, and they're left-wing nutbags. Donald Trump called Monica Palmer after Wayne County Board of Canvassers. Now, this is in the this is Free Press, I believe. Yeah, Detroit Free Press. Monica Palmer, the Republican chairwoman of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers, who initially voted on Tuesday against certifying the county's election results, then reversed her vote, said Thursday she received a phone call from President Trump Tuesday evening after the meeting ended. Palmer said she did not know how long the call lasted, saying there was a lot of stress and adrenaline that night. He was checking to make sure I was safe after seeing and hearing about the threats of doxing. Palmer wrote in a text message referring in a firestorm of information released about her on her social media. Palmer earlier told the Free Press that her and her family had multiple threats. The threats had been made against myself, my daughter, and my husband. Reports have been filed on the Grosse Pointe Woods police and with the FBI. President Trump withdraws federal lawsuit in Michigan citing Wayne County canvasser affidavits. Ryan Jervey, spokesman for Attorney General Dana Nessel, said that her office had not received a referral about such threats from a police agency, but would act quickly if such a referral was made. Excuse me. William Hartman of the other Republican member of the 4-person Wayne County board. There's 2 Republican and 2 Democrat. Both members signed affidavits late Wednesday saying they wanted to rescind their votes to certify the county's election results because they do not feel the state will follow through with an audit. On Tuesday, when the board first took up motion to certify the county's election results, the vote came out 2-2, deadlocked along partisan lines. With the Republicans opposing certification, Palmer offered a compromise. I would be open to motion to certify communities other than the city of Detroit. An hours-long public comment period followed. Republican members of the board were called racist, disenfranchising hundreds of thousands of black voters. At the end of the meeting, Jonathan Kinloch and the Democratic vice chair offered a resolution to certify the county's election results that called on Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson to conduct a comprehensive audit of the county's precincts that recorded unexplained discrepancies between the number of ballots recorded as ballot and the number of ballots counted. The board unanimously supported Kinloch's resolution. Throughout the meeting, Trump continued his quest for victories. Michigan just refused to certify. So Trump just chiming some stuff in. The discrepancy found in Wayne County were minor, and elections experts say they are common across the country and the result of human error. They do not indicate the individuals voted multiple times or that the ballots were counted more than once. In a follow-up Wednesday morning in Detroit, there are far more votes than there are people, Trump said. Detroit's unofficial election results show roughly 250,000 Detroiters voted in the election. Detroit is home to about 670,000. So again, who knows the truth, guys? Who knows? So here we are, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Guys, I love you. I really want to see you guys jump over here on YouTube. I want to see more people engaging. We just added the new logo, which I have not added over here on YouTube yet. There is one of the new logos I posted up on our Facebook and on our Instagram. We've got different adaptations of them. I'm trying to look at which I've got. This logo was the original logo, which I still like, and I'll probably leave that as the original. And then there's a couple that I've had some friends work on and make for me. And then my wonderful, awesomest sister-in-law in the world, Courtney, made another one, and she's starting to do a little bit of logo design. I got to start promoting her because she does a really amazing job. She helped out with the newest logo for the show. I guess I owe her some dinner or something. But anyhow, I appreciate you guys being patient while we get this process going. Again, Two Party Podcast, the number 2 partypodcast.com. I'm putting it up right now. Bear with me. I'm the slowest typer in the world. Podcast.com. That is going to be there. I just posted it on that one. I'm fixing to post it over here. Two Party Podcast on YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel. You can go to our webpage. You can go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Parler, Buzzsprout. There's so many, I can't even keep up. Needless to say, guys, I appreciate your support. I love your support, and I thank you for all your interactions. I'm encouraging you guys to continue. I need you guys to go to the page. I need you guys to go to all these different social media. I need you to interact and engage. I know your lives are busy. I know a lot of people are at home these days. And just take a little time, man. You're on social media anyhow. If you're seeing this or you saw this or you watched part of it and you're like, screw Dean, I'm out of here, that's fine. While you're engaging in it, while you see me on here, give it a like, give it a share, give a comment, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. Give me some reactions. Give me your opinions on stuff, opinions on logos that we're posting. Give me your opinions on different guest topics or videos we've already posted. There's a lot of informative information. I've got a lot of new guests coming up. I encourage you guys to subscribe on our YouTube so that you will get notifications. If you like and follow us on our Facebook page, you will also get notifications, but I encourage you to do the YouTube as well. Sometimes, like today, I'm doing cross-platform and I'm live on both. In the future, I won't be live on both. I might just be live on one, and that's why I encourage you guys to get subscribed or follow on all of our platforms so that you always are getting the notifications whenever I'm live or whenever we have new episodes. So that being said, good hour and a half today live. I love you guys. That's an hour and a half of my life I've committed to giving some feedback on the world's events and news breakdowns. That's what I enjoy doing for you guys. You can agree or disagree. Post it up. Let me know. Again, affiliates and sponsors page on the Two Party Podcast. I just put the website right here in comments. I did it on both pages on YouTube and Facebook Live. Click on it. Go to the affiliates page. Look at some of those. They may or may not help you. You get discounts. We have holiday season. Go ahead and I encourage you guys to look into some of the discounts there. I want you guys to know there's more affiliate stuff coming out, more guests coming out. I, for one, am tired. It's kind of been an early morning for me. I didn't work out today either, so I'm kind of feeling like kind of drained. I took off yesterday too to kind of rest some muscles. That being said, I go enjoy your life, live your life, help people out today, help your family out today, make new memories, be safe. If you're out there, I'm not gonna tell you wear a mask. Okay. I'm going to tell you wear a mask, but I'm not going to force you to wear a mask. I'm not going to tell you have to wear a mask. I'm not going to shove it down your throat. But if you're out there in public, be safe. If you're not, I don't care if you're wearing a mask to save somebody's lives. I care if you're trying to protect yourself from getting sick, because nobody wants it. The thing with being sick is nobody wants to be sick. I don't want a cold. I don't want strep throat. I don't want to have frickin' whatever it may be. You don't want to be sick. It's not good. And so I encourage you to watch, take care of yourself. Just really be safe out there for yourself, for your family, for other people. I just encourage you guys to do that. At the same time, help other people throughout your journey each day. Do what you got to do to be safe and to keep them safe. Guys, I'm off of here. I love you. See you tomorrow.